Welcome back everyone to my another chess video. So today I'm going to analyze one of the best chess games in history, Polyugavsky versus Nezhet-Mirdinov. So Polyugavsky was a best player at that time and was a very good chess player. And Nezhet-Mirdinov was 45-year old, not at a young age chess player, but a good and not that much known chess player. So he played a game with Polyugavsky, 32-year-old at that time. In this game, he sacrificed his queen, and this was the best chess queen sacrifice at any cost. So game start with d4, knight f6, c4, d6, knight c3, e5. Some of the players think by taking the pawn and the queen will exchange and his king will be not able to castle. So white would have no compensation when he would trade the queens, as it is explained in the line. So black played e5 and white responded with e4, ex d4, qx d4. Now simple move knight c6, attacking the queen on d4. White retreats his queen back to d2. So many of the players would thought that he have blocked his bishop with the queen. But the main idea is that if black would open from g6 to bishop g7, white would play b3 and bishop b2. And this is what happened in the game. White played queen d2, black played g6, white plays b3, bishop g7, bishop b2, castles, bishop d3, developing his bishop, knight g4. Here the main move for white is to play knight f3, the most common move which seemed to be controlling these squares. But Polyugavsky tried something different and played his knight to e2. And now black played a wonderful and brilliant move, queen h4. As he could not castle, it would be a mate on h2, attacking his f2 pawn, and if he will play g3, these two square which the pawn was protecting would be weak. So instead white plays knight g3. So here the best move could be f5, directly attacking the king, but Nezhet-Mirdinov played knight g e5, as he could not castle long, bishop h6, and it would be a skewer. So he could not castle long side, and this opportunity black takes and makes pressure on his d3 bishop. So white instead castle king side, as there was no mate on h2, as the knight would retreat. So now black insists himself to play f5, directly attacking the king, as he has castled king side. So black play f5, f3, bishop h6, queen d1, as the queen was attacked, so queen retreats to d1, f4, attacking white knight, knight g e2. So black started a wonderful attack on king side with g5, knight d4, knight d5. So his plan was to take the pawn and attack the rook while opening his bishop. So black doesn't care of his pawn and plays g4, as if white would take the pawn g3 and there is no way to stop the mate. If he will play h3, then bishop takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, queen takes, and there is a mate on h2. So before, white didn't take on c7 and instead play g3, first attacking the queen so that the pawn could not advance on g3. Pawn takes pawn, hx g3. Now queen h3. It's not the type that he's blocking his queen. He is making pressure on his king side with limiting his king squares and preparing bishop e3 check after some moves. So f4, so that the knight couldn't take the pawn. While black plays a brilliant move, bishop e6, as if he would take the pawn, he'll take the knight and make the square for his bishop, and you can see the king can nowhere go and rook have to block, and then he will take the rook. So white played bishop c2. After the game, Nurzakhmetdinov explained that bishop b1 was the best, bishop c2 was not the best, but no one was expecting what would happen in the game after bishop c2. So let's see what happened in the game. Rook f7, so that if he will take the knight, queen takes, and there is no check to the king. And now white plays a nice move, thought that king could not stay on g1, he has to go somewhere, so he plays king f2. Now his plan is to play rook h1 and make a skipper. So black played queen h2 check, king e3, bx d5, as black has no move to play, cx d5, knight b4, rook h1. So now is the moment when the queen sack was done. So now you can think, how would black continue in this position? White thought that now he will win, of course, but black played a brilliant and wonderful move, bishop x f4, bx f4, as there were no moves. Black played rook x f4, as there were no moves left. If bishop takes f4 was a blunder, queen takes g3 was a blunder, queen anywhere, this was the only best move. So what was happening by rook takes f4? White takes the queen, double check, king d4, bishop g7. Now here Nurzakhmetdinov played the best move, as there were no direct check. No one would have expected that there would be no direct check. So bishop g7, a4, as there were no moves left, c5 check, dx c6, bx c6, and now there were no moves, but he have to get mate. Bishop d3, nex d3, king c4, d5 check, ex d5, cx d5, king b5, rook b8 check, king a5, and the game was over. Knight c6, as there was a checkmate coming over here if king was gonna a6. So this was one of the most best game ever in chess history. So bye everyone, I'll meet you in the next chess video.